Want to have your clip featured in the Skyrim Clip of the Week? Simply record the clip on your Xbox and then send it to me via message. My gamertag is iRyanI, that's IRYENI, and then you can message it to me over Xbox and I'll be able to view it. I look forward to seeing the clips that you guys send me. Now moving on to the video. Hey, what's up guys, it's Ryan, and welcome back to another installment in our Top 5 Mods series. Now today I wanted to do something a little bit different because I'm always getting asked the question on what my favorite HUD mod is or what UI mods I'm currently using, and that's exactly what type of video I have for you guys today. I've went on the mod page and I've picked out 5 UI mods that I've used over the course of, the 6 years that we've been making this series, and I want to bring them into the spotlight and actually recommend them to download for your load orders as well. So we have 5 HUD mods that are going to be great to add to your characters, and we're just going to dive right into it. But before we do that, I want to remind you guys that I'm partnered with GamerSupps, which in my opinion is the best energy drink on the market. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to check out the link in the description where you can go to their store page, and you can also use the code RTD for a 10% discount on all your purchases. I also want to say, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any brand new mods each and every single week. Now that all that's out of the way, we can jump into the best UI mods, and starting us off at our number 5 spot, we have a very simple heads-up display mod called Minimalistic HUD. Now this adds no colors at all, it makes every single bar that you have on your screen white, it makes the compass a lot bigger and just makes it so you can see enemies on your compass a lot easier too. They're big red dots instead of just being the little dots. And this is just a very simple mod to add that can fit really any themed load order that you may have. I would say it would fit more down in the category of maybe a gothic load order, or maybe if you're going for a darker playthrough, because you won't have those bright colors on your screen all the time, they'll just be little white bars. But this is just the simplest type of HUD that you can have in Skyrim, and I absolutely love it. Now obviously these showcases are going to be a lot shorter than my top 5 mod videos because there isn't really much to talk about whenever it comes to heads-up display and UI mods unless it's a big mod pack, which we'll get into later. But with this minimalistic HUD mod, there isn't really much more to say. It just adds your health, fatigue, and stamina, all these white bars, as well as leveling up is just a very slick white bar, and the compass is upgraded just a little bit, just to make everything a lot more simpler, and they're just very small changes as well, and this is also a very small mod, coming in at 227.33 megabytes, and even the mod page reads that this is just a tiny black and white modern HUD. So if you are looking for a new HUD mod to fit your load order that maybe doesn't have the red, blue, and green tints on the health, magicka, and stamina, and you want your compass to be a little bit bigger and just the game to look a lot more simple, then the minimalistic HUD is definitely a mod I'd recommend checking out. Coming in at our number 4 spot, we have another themed UI mod called the Dragon HUD mod. And the mod page reads that this now has dragon claws that hold up your health, stamina, and magicka. You have a dot crosshair base with a standard crosshair for activation, and you have a compass only when explicitly placing a marker, you have enemies in combat, or you're recovering from a shout. It also includes the 60 FPS menus, which is a mod that I pretty much can't live without, so that's awesome it's included in here. And it also includes its own Diablo-style font replacer, so no matter what type of menu you're in, whether you press start, or maybe you're in your inventory, if you're reading books out in the wilderness, talking to people, or just the subtitles on the screen, they'll all have their own unique style of font that looks really cool and really fits this dragon theme. And as you can see, as I'm walking around and getting into combat, casting spells, and just exploring the world, you can see that the health appears in some claws that are in the bottom left corner, as well as the fatigue also appears down there. And then the magic you have in the right side, and they're all held up by dragon claws, which I think is really cool. I love the dot crosshair mod, I think it's way better than the standard crosshair. And like I said, the 60 FPS menus mod is a must-have because whenever you're navigating menus, if you're using the 60 FPS mod, you'll never want to go back because of just how slow the vanilla menus are. So this mod just seems to have everything that you're going to need whenever it comes to a HUD mod, and that's definitely why it's featured here at our number 4 spot. So if you're going to be building a true Dragonborn load order, then this would be the perfect heads-up display mod to use with that. So I'd recommend downloading it and adding it to your load order as well. Coming in at our number 3 spot, we have the UI mod that I believe I've used for the longest time. You know, I recently upgraded my HUD mod into something different, but this is definitely the one that I used for the longest course of time between the 6 years that I've been making this series. This is the SkyHUD Dissonance preset. SkyHUD is a replacement for the in-game HUD with improved features and alternate options, and this includes features such as an Oblivion-style HUD, left-aligned health, stamina, and magicka, just like in Oblivion. We also have the dot crosshair included with this mod, a new slim compass, alternate ammo types, they fixed the letter spacing for animated letters, alternate charge meter, and smaller HUD elements as well, so more of Skyrim is showing on your screen. Now, of course, this is its own preset, which it being the Dissonance preset, so there is other presets that you can download, such as the original SkyHUD. You can also download the Oblivion preset, as well as a vanilla preset. I just really love to give this mod praise because it was the UI mod that I used for pretty much the entirety of the top 5 mod series, starting from the beginning almost, and this is just an amazing mod. You know, I originally really liked the Oblivion HUD, and that's exactly why I feel like I like this UI mod here, because it fixes all of the UI elements such as, you know, the health, stamina, and magicka to be on top of each other in the bottom left. I thought that was a great place to have it. You know, with the dot crosshair, of course, that's also one of my favorite new crosshairs that they just implement, because the regular crosshair for me was just a little bit too big, and it also slims down the compass so you can actually, you know, instead of having this big bar at the top of your screen, you now have just a thin bar that still shows you where all the map markers are, and if there actually is a location nearby, it will appear big on the compass, but the compass itself will stay very thin. So I think it all just really eliminates all the wasted space that the vanilla UI had, so I would really recommend this mod to anyone. It's also very small, coming in at 470.59 kilobytes, so why wouldn't you want a mod like this? So if you're looking for a new UI mod and you really don't know where to start looking, I would strongly recommend downloading SkyHUD, whether it be the Dissonance preset, which is my favorite, or maybe some of the other presets. Like I said, you have the original SkyHUD, Oblivion, as well as the vanilla preset, so there's so much to try here, and that's definitely why it's featured here at a number 3 spot, so I'd strongly recommend downloading it and giving it a try for yourself. Coming in at our number 2 spot, we have what I think is one of the best UI mods whenever it comes to themed load orders. And what I mean by themed is, in the past I used this mod for my pirate load order, and there's tons of other themes that this mod would fit into. This is the paper style interface mod, which features a complete new player interface featuring new map menu markers and sounds. You have new icons, a new cursor, a new skills menu, a new quest journal, a new main menu, as well as some dialogue menus that have been changed, and a new heads-up display as well. There's also so much more included with this, such as a handwritten font and more fonts that you can download, such as an Oblivion font, a dark Skyrim font, as well as an Old English font. There's just so much to explore in this mod here. And that's exactly why it's 29.87 megabytes, because it changes pretty much everything that you look at, whether it be the map, you're opening up the local map, it'll be a big piece of paper. You know, if you press the start menu, you have a big journal entry that has a bunch of entries that whenever you get quest updates, you'll just be writing in your journal, which I think is very, very cool. And also whenever you press B or just press tab to open up your menu to either go to your map, magic, skills, or etc., you'll have new icons. Like whenever you go to the map, it'll actually have a map menu that'll open up and unfold. If you open up your, you know, equipment list, it'll have a bunch of like stuff in your backpack that you'll unpack out of it. You can open up your skills, which is a completely new menu, and then magic is its own separate menu as well, and everything is just made together perfectly. And you also have new fonts, like I said, that look really, really awesome. There's so much that has changed here, so that's why I say it really fits into themed load orders. Like I said, in my pirate load order, this was a perfect thing to include because, you know, it looks like you're opening up a treasure map and actually looking for treasure, and you're going exploring and just doing all that stuff. It's just a perfect mod to have in any type of themed load order that you may have, but it is a little bit big on memory space. Like I said, 29 megabytes is a lot for a UI mod, but it's definitely worth it because of how much this mod adds. So if you're making your own pirate load order, or maybe you're interested in making a treasure hunter load order, or just any loader that you could possibly think of where this theme would fit in, then the paper style interface is definitely a mod I'd recommend checking out. So go download it and become a true treasure hunter for yourself. Coming in at the number 1 spot, we have the UI mod that I currently use and what I think is one of the best UI mods ever made for console. This is the ScryUI mod, and it's actually a mod pack that features some of the best improvements to Skyrim's UI that I've ever seen before. We have improved menus in the dialogue section for book reading, a categorized favorites menu, a mod menu listing more items per category. The pause menu no longer has the mod's options, so you'll no longer accidentally click on it and have to wait that long loading screen. Sleeping and waiting now allows up to 72 hours, and all menus are up to 60 FPS, which is one of my favorite things there. I always have to have those fresh and quick menus so I can get in and out of my inventory very fast, but on top of that we also have better map improvements, including map controls, added map markers for smaller locations like shrines, as well as names with the type of ores for each mine that you explore. You have colored map markers, which looks really great. Instead of just having every map marker be white, everything will have its own unique color, which I think is very awesome. Then you also have the dynamic third-person camera mod, which allows you to really take control of your third-person camera and see if you want it to be over your right shoulder or your left shoulder, change your field of view, which is one of the most useful things that I think. I love changing my FOV to about 100. That's normally where I play about. And you can change all of the settings whenever it comes to the camera with a new power called Power of Self-Vision that's just in your magic section. You also have new customized gamepad controls via the control mod that's also included in this mod pack, which allows you to hotkey different items from your favorites menu. So instead of opening up your favorites and equipping your favorite sword, you can then just hold down the D-pad in your favorites menu, and once you hold down the D-pad, it'll pop up with a new number, whether it be 1 through 5 I believe, or 1 through 6. So next time I go into combat, I won't have to open up my favorites menu. I can just press the D-pad direction and it'll just equip the weapon immediately. This mod also comes with its own unique style of font, and this is the Sovngarde Light font, and it also has other small changes, such as whenever you walk up to interact with something, there's new Oblivion icons, so that if you go to talk to a person, it'll have a picture of a person talking instead of just a big A button to talk to somebody. And I know that I'm giving this mod so much praise, but just believe me when I say it's one of the best UI mods that's available for Skyrim on console. The only gripe that I have with it is there's no enemy health bar whenever you get into combat, so you're kind of just doing some guesswork back and forth, which can be really intense because you never really know if that's going to be the last blow on your enemy. But if you don't really like that and you want to bring back the crosshair, there's a separate mod that you can download called the Scry preset, the vanilla crosshair with the enemy health bar, and this is just a mod that brings back the vanilla crosshair instead of having the dot crosshair, and you also just have an enemy bar that appears on the screen. But if you want to keep the dot crosshair, say you really like the dot crosshair and you still want to have a way of knowing whenever your enemy's low on health, you can then get the enemy health indicators instead. This is its own unique mod that actually adds a little light above every enemy that you find in Skyrim, and the light that appears above their head is reflective on how much health they have. If it's blue, that means they have 200% or more, which is more so just on boss enemies and maybe guards in cities, but most people will start off with green, which is 75% to 200% health, and then once you start hitting them a little bit, it'll drop down to yellow, which is 50 to 75% health, then down to orange, which is 25 to 50, and then red whenever it's 25 or less. It'll actually start blinking red too if they get to 10% or less health, so you'll always know how much health the enemy that you're fighting has. So even though the original ScryUI gets rid of health bars, there's always a way to either bring it back or bring it into a new style with the enemy health indicators mod, so there's a perfect fix for that, which still makes it one of the best UI mods that I think is available on Skyrim on console. So if you haven't given the ScryUI mod a chance yet and you're looking for a new HUD mod, this would definitely be the one that I'd recommend downloading, and that's why it's featured here at our #1 spot, so I'd strongly recommend downloading the ScryUI and giving it a try for yourself. So that's pretty much it for this installment of the top 5 UI mods in Skyrim. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and if you did, I'd appreciate it if you left a like and subscribe if you're new. It really helps me out a lot. And if you have any suggestions, be sure to let me know in the comment section below, or you can follow me on Twitter. I'll be sure to leave my Twitter in the description, and you guys can follow me on there and leave me suggestions to there as well. Special shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys have done for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys later.